There's a story hidden deep within the Cold War, a tragedy smothered by propaganda, and a scream from space that echoed through a broken radio. This is the story of the cosmonaut who knew he would die and went to space anyway. This is the secret death of Vladimir Komarov, the astronaut who vanished from history. The 1960s, the height of the Cold War. Two superpowers, America and the Soviet Union, were racing to control the final frontier, space. But while the Americans dreamed of reaching the moon, the Soviets had already stunned the world by launching Sputnik and then sending the first human into orbit, Yuri Gagarin. And then there was him, Vladimir Mikhailovich Komarov, pilot, engineer, patriot, and soon, a martyr. Born in Moscow in 1927, Komarov was a gifted pilot. By 1959, he had been selected for the elite Soviet cosmonaut corps, alongside the now iconic Yuri Gagarin. He wasn't the face of the Soviet Union's space program, but he was the foundation. In 1964, he completed his first spaceflight aboard Voskhod 1, making history as the first multi-person crew in space. But his second flight would be his last. The Soviet Union had ambitious plans for April 1967. To mark the 50th anniversary of the Bolshevik Revolution, they wanted to make history again. Two spacecraft, Soyuz 1 and Soyuz 2, a complicated orbital ballet, rendezvous, docking, and crew transfer in space. It was a bold idea. Too bold, because Soyuz 1 wasn't ready. Engineers had already found over 200 structural issues. The parachute system was unreliable. The control systems glitched, but the Kremlin was in a rush. There could be no delay, not for safety, not for sanity. And so, they made a decision. Launch Soyuz 1, with Vladimir Komarov aboard. When Komarov saw the spacecraft's flaws, he begged to delay the launch. He knew it was a death trap, but if he refused, they'd send his backup, Yuri Gagarin. He couldn't allow that, so he made a choice. He went, knowing he wouldn't return. April 23rd, 1967. Komarov blasted off aboard Soyuz 1, almost instantly. Everything began to fail. A solar panel failed to deploy, cutting off power. Orientation systems malfunctioned. Communication was spotty. Komarov was flying blind, alone. Trying to save a dying ship in the vacuum of space, he orbited Earth, struggling to manually stabilize the spacecraft. Back on Earth, Soviet officials scrambled to prepare Soyuz 2 for launch to attempt a rescue, but a thunderstorm grounded it. Komarov was on his own. The parachutes failed to deploy. The capsule plummeted at terminal velocity, over 640 kilometers per hour, and in the final moments, American intelligence reportedly intercepted Komarov's final radio transmissions. He wasn't calm. He screamed in rage, at the engineers, at the politicians, at fate. Then, silence. When recovery crews arrived, they found the Soyuz capsule destroyed. Inside, what was left of Vladimir Komarov, a mangled, burned body, identifiable only by the shape of his heel bone. The USSR buried him with honors in the Kremlin Wall necropolis. But they didn't tell the full story. Officially, it was a heroic death. Unofficially, it was a horrific failure. The truth was buried, just like Komarov. Some say it wasn't an accident. For decades, the USSR denied the flaws in the Soyuz design, but engineers eventually confirmed Komarov had been sent to his death. Today, space travel is still dangerous, but it's safer because of what men like Komarov endured. His death forced engineers to re-evaluate safety protocols. The Soyuz was redesigned, eventually becoming one of the most reliable spacecraft ever built. Komarov never got to see that future, but every mission that returned safely carried his legacy. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more hidden histories and untold truths.